Big up the whole island massive. It's your boy Chatana, coming straight from the Golden Globes, you want saying? Me father Tom Hanks presenting in a what soon forward come. Big up, tune in. Yo, big up the youth them way out of Kingston. Me wake up this morning and me see the thing turn up. Internet gone mad. Respect, you don't know. Me soon forward a yard. Booyaka, booyaka.
CRWS, Countering Racism, White Supremacy Book Club. Like, share, subscribe, and comment below.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to CRWS, Counter-Racist Review, Decoding Analysis of Atlanta, Season 3, Episode 7, Trini to the Bone. And this episode, like the entire series, is full of racist propaganda, anti-Black imagery, and a lot of bizarre images, coded messages, I suspect. And getting started, we're going to be talking about this part of the episode. Gooch Lickman has just given Mr. Warner an image, and we're going to have one of the hosts, Mr. Yawu, explain to us what maybe it could be decoded as. I know Gooch is some sort of area on the body, if I've been told correctly. But yeah, I'm just gonna let Mr. Yawu take it from there.
Hello. According to Urban Dictionary, Goose is another word for the Chad. 2 letters from first name Chet, but anyway, the region between the balls and the a-hole can be the erogenous zone for some. So it's an area of the anus. At the same time, he's showing the picture of a prolapsed anus. That comes from wear and tear, if you know what I mean, because it's made for exit only.
So is this like a body part that we're seeing? I still am not understanding what this is.
I think so.
Okay,
I think so.
Here, what happened? I'm sorry. No, it's a butthole, and that's what happens from dysexuality. They sell plugs to close it because the muscles don't tighten back up. That's what holds our feces in our body is the sphincter muscle. Once it's gone, it's gone. That's what it causes.
Oh, Miss Ash, were you gonna add?
No, that's exactly what I was gonna say. It's the sphincter muscle, but it's prolapse, so it's completely weakened.
So it seems so incorrect. This seems incorrect. This seems like it shouldn't happen.
It shouldn't.
All right, very logical. Okay, so this shouldn't happen. So this happens due to anti-countersexual activities, I'm suspecting.
Exactly.
That or toys.
So the writers have decided to insert this image, communicate that, hey, getting your anus penetrated could cause this or something like that. The writers thought it was probably entertaining or funny to put this in the episode. Very, very bizarre to me.
It adds nothing to the plot, right?
Yeah, it's just
Zero.
It's very
what are your guys' assumptions on who sent it? I'm guessing it can either be the Chet Hanks character or the guy who was trying to get a babysitting job, because those are the only 2 people, right? They even have him with the Bluetooth in his ear. Isn't that how things are airdropped through Bluetooth?
Oh yeah, that could be a hint. That could be like a writer's hint, But I suspect it was Chet, because he seems like to be if he's the type to stand up and scream world star, then I suspect he's the type to have extra fun in area 8 and just poke fun about it, because that reminds me of like interactions I've had. It's just on the job, on a plantation, and out of nowhere, a white coworker, sex joke, out of nowhere, a phallic joke or vagina joke, something. So it's it's just always something there they're thinking about. Aggression and sex, it seems bizarre.
Yeah, a black male wrote this episode, but they had Donald Glover directed this episode. But yeah, the actual writer for this episode, his name is Jordan Temple. He's a writer, producer, comedy writer, other shows, but he did this episode.
So yeah,
I suspect. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go. No, you go, please.
I was going to say, I suspect the reason why that was inserted because you're looking at the person who inserted. This whole thing is an inside joke for Mr. Chet Hanks. That's why gooch was used, because the second word for gooch is also called a chad or a chad. That's all.
And Chet Hanks is I think I could correctly label him as a white supremacist because he has raped a black female and he has an offspring by her. I think this is offspring. Is that correct? Ms. B?
Yes.
Okay,
yes, sir.
Okay.
That's offspring.
Okay, yeah. In the system of white supremacy, whenever a white person, has sex with a non-white person, that's not sex per se. That's actually rape, and a very, very incorrect situation. So that is also a form of anti-sex, things that we have been taught to call sex, but it's not actually sex. So this character, him being the one to send the image of the prolapsed anus, makes a lot of sense because that is anti-sex. That is a result from anti-sex behavior, and white people capturing victims, taking them to the bedroom, raping them. That's also anti-sex, and the product of that, tragically, a lot of the times is a victim of racism who has a white parent. Really, really tragic. And producejustice.com to get a further understanding of where this counter racist logic comes from.
I wanted to know if it was possible to zoom in on the picture because I wanted y'all to see everybody's image, especially the lady, the white woman with the flowery dress and the white shirt. And for people who are listening to this, just imagine how this child is going to be treated. How this child is going to be treated in this environment around all these white people.
I have a question. If we saw the same image, especially the star on the floor, but in a different setting, we think of this totally different. It looks like a ritual to me.
Someone pointed out earlier that it looked like they're talking to a dog, like, look, stay here. Look, dog, sit, play, like they're giving demands.
Yeah, this looks very, very suspicious. And yeah, I second what Mr. Yahoo said. Some sort of
Ritual.
Racist ritual.
I'll put the exact ritual in the WhatsApp group. I spent about 3 hours researching this photo yesterday.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, put it in so we could probably share it up for the broadcast for sure. But while that's getting sorted, I can decode a couple of things that just easily missable if we are not paying attention to how the system works and what it is. Oh, perfect. You know, look at the creator looking out for victim of racism of 526. Like we have a perfect example of how racist men and racist women have designed the system. They have created victims such as myself to no, they have trained us, I should say. They trained us to go and produce this noise that we have been taught to call music. And right now we're talking about gangster rap, you know, and right now we see this white man, suspected racist, using this noise. Well, it's right now for him it's music because he's using it to be constructive. He's out for a constructive job, you know. But if you actually pay attention to the lyrics, they're all, you know, ghetto glorification, anti-black, self-hatred, and the usual stuff we've been trained to promote in gangster rap music. But we have this white man using it constructively, and I was like, wow, this is exactly how the system is set up, you know. But when large numbers of non-white people are exposed to gangster rap music, we are not encouraged to do such stuff that are constructive, like the workout and, you know, maintain racism, white supremacy. Well, we are, but in the way that we maintain it is by harming one another or spreading confusion and supporting the system that way. This white person is using this music to, you know, do his job on the planet, which is to maintain the system, it seems.
Yeah, something that I got from this episode is that white people are in the business of obviously racism, but also trying to survive as a people and actually live and thrive. And Black people are in the business of killing themselves and also working to help white people live and survive. It's very sad.
Yeah, well, that was the first thing I had wrote down. You know, white man listening to, you know, black noise, or basically just noise. Another thing I wrote down was I was more paying attention to the actual child throughout the whole episode, to where in the beginning, if you like, you know, watch what he's looking at, he's watching Proud Family. Like, you know, this is a black TV show for, you know, I guess for like children under the age of 12. And then it like, you know, you fast forward to that church and they're doing this prayer and he's saying, you know, yes, Lord. And I mean, it's sort of like he's kind of getting refined enough to where, let's just say if he gets older, you know, to where he's around that environment and, you know, he can like, you know the lingo or the slang, whatever. So I was really picking up on that throughout the actual episode.
And if you look too, his bed is a teepee, like a Native American teepee.
Yep.
And the scene with the mom and dad at the end, they have a bunch of like, I think it's Native American art on their wall too. It's very interesting.
He is learning how to become refined in the funeral scenario. Sebastian is smarter than his parents. He knows how to conduct himself in that setting. And he was also able to make the Black people there feel comfortable. He made Khadijah laugh today, and she started saying, "We is family now. We're family now." That's incorrect. Sebastian is learning how to be very refined.
Yeah, I'm gonna respond and then I'm gonna let Ms. B chime in. I noticed that he's being bombarded with just like black images, black food, you know, just, and it's surrounded by all these you know, just black things, I suppose. And then I see his parents reacting to it very interestingly because the part where she's like he's like, can you sing me like a song, blah blah blah, and then he's like, so Sylvia sings Trini to the bone, and then the mom she responds by saying, "Oh, I don't know that song," and then she sings a song about the little white whale. I see that as just the racist thought, speech, and action clashing with the non-white speech and action that has been given to the race suspected racist child by Sylvia. You know, because it seems like they are a bit taken back by this our suspected racist is picking up all these black behaviors, but as the panel has said, yeah, that it's actually good for him. He's going to be able to use this to become super refined. You know, I can't be racist. You know, I know Trini to the bone. I'll pause there.
Yeah, because I had wrote down. This was like in the middle of the episode. I said, "Child is not ignorant at all. Like he is not ignorant." Yeah. I mean,
The first thing I noticed when I was watching this, first thing that came to mind was the help. That's the first thing that came to mind. The white man jogging, listening to rap music, aka noise. I watched racist man and racist woman jog all the time. Either they're jogging or they're walking. And they always have earbuds in their ears. And I never thought about what are they listening to. And that's what this episode helped me to do. Never thought about that. As soon as as soon as he said spicy curry mango, I was like, oh, his nanny's black. Uh, and I'll oh yeah, and what he's watching the Proud Family. I've never watched that cartoon. I've never seen it. But you know, of course I've seen images, but I've never watched a cartoon before about the Proud Family. But they I know they're coming out with two new characters, and one's going to be a white man and a black male, and they're supposed to be a couple. So they're going to put an anti-sexual couple on in the cartoon. I did read about that, and I mute for now.
Yeah, this is the second rendition of the Proud Family. Actually, go ahead, Miss Ash.
Something I thought was interesting too is around this scene, or maybe it's after the scene when they find out that Sylvia died, and they talk about replacing her. I think they said they were going to replace her with someone Chinese. They said something
yeah.
about replacing her with somebody who spoke Mandarin, and I
Yes.
just thought it was so interesting how white people are just so secure in that whoever they can just hire whoever they want to like tailor make their child into whoever they want their child to be. Like it's almost like they're ordering like food on a special menu or something. Like they can just pick out who they want their child to be without having to actually engage with that child in any way.
Yeah, the term I wrote down was metropolitan. Like it seems as though they were asking for, someone that was either white or basically lighter than the actual help that they had before. Um,
Yeah,
I think it's more like white people are just so trained to see their children as like products that they wanted a Chinese nanny because the Chinese people are like, like there's a lot of Chinese businesses that white people do business with, and they want their kid to be able to speak Mandarin so that he can that's how far they like see ahead. I
more
think.
refined.
Like, huh?
More refined.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they know that that's going to give their child a one up versus like a black person who's really not going to provide anything for their child in terms of like giving them a one up.
yeah, and I decode the metropolitan as them just wanting a servant to them and their child that they're just easily able to understand. That's about it. And then what was he learned the suspected racist child learning from Sylvia? Just how to basically, I guess, sing and about the food, I suppose. very interesting. And yeah, white people think light years ahead, it seems. And did anyone notice how he started to the father, Mr. Warner, started to learn about the Trini culture, and he's like, do you know that the slaves used to do the hula hoop? Do you know why they do that dance or whatever? I'm like, wow. So he's already I guess he ate the food, and now he wants to learn more about Black culture. I guess that's what's happening. But yeah, if that's correct, what he said, if that's actual truth for information, that the limbo dance, you know, or the I think it was limbo, right? It wasn't hula. It was limbo, right? It wasn't hula hoop.
Limbo, yes.
Yeah, if that actually originates from slave and like the whole slavery phase of racism and white supremacy, the intense slavery phase, not the one that ran right now where we're just comfortable slaves. But if it originates from that, then that's something we should not be practicing. Should we be dancing and hula hooping? I mean, limbo dancing still? I don't know. We should be dancing, period, while prisoners of war. But something I thought about. And what else? Oh yeah. This episode to me just presents, and I think if victims, oh wow, accident. I think if victims, I've seen victims of racism. I am a victim of racism, and I've seen us. I've been at freaking funeral services, and if there's any place that we're gonna, be serious and not in conflict with each other, it's probably gonna be a funeral. This is, such a tacky, trashy, and terroristic portrayal of non-white people. I think actually inaccurate. I'm sure fights break out in churches all the time, but during funerals, and I'm from a super tacky and trashy terroristic victim unit, and this never occurred. I've never seen this before in my existence, but I think this is this is a super anti-black
I
propaganda.
agree. I thought that the episode would have been fine until they got to this part, and it almost felt so unnecessary. It's like they almost had to make them make fun of Black people in this episode for it to like air or something.
Yeah, I wrote down this was pretty much a whole Black stereotype. I mean, church stereotypes. I also wrote down prior to them getting to the funeral, the white wife said that we're in an island, which is like pretty much. I meant she meaning that they were in a hood or Black area basically. Oh,
Black people, instead of funerals, what about having business meetings?
yeah, never thought.
I also something that I also found interesting is the way they placed the Khadijah character. Like she had a valid argument, but she just expressed it in a very emotional and incredibly unconstructive way to the point where she's hitting the the casket. And it's like the white people who used your mother's labor are right in front of you, but you're hitting your dead mother. I thought that was really, really interesting and really made no sense to me, that instead of like confronting confronting them and not even, you don't have to confront them there. You can confront them after the funeral or before or whatever, but to instead scream at your dead mom just shows that even though she had something that was at least a constructive analysis, the way that she did it was just really kind of tacky and trashy.
And that is an excellent example of how this system trains us. I blame all your problems on Black people, especially the Black people in your victim unit. Don't blame the white people who created the source of your problem. Don't blame the white people who could have helped you, but every single day of your existence chose not to help you, they'll blame equally powerless Black person. And this is how it trains us. It's tragic, but yeah,
Yeah.
this is the interaction that we're given. Go ahead.
Just for clarity, it wasn't Khadijah. It was her sister Princess that was up there on the mic, voicing her, grievance to her dead mother. I'm trying to see if I wrote anything else down. Oh, prior to the actual service starting, well, you know what? Even the preacher, he wasn't serious. He was making jokes about losing money for a football game. That was another thing too. I had wrote down. So
And the preacher was also late. So keeping up that stereotype, that trope that Black people are never on time.
Yeah, it's just the people who allow the show to get on the air, they don't particularly seem to like Black people, and they definitely want to dish out images that portray Black people like, the racist stereotypes we've been, accustomed to ever since this racist business got started, actually,
When I first saw the envelope, when the envelope was delivered the first time, I thought it was gonna have some sort of connection to the restitution episode when I saw the envelope. Obviously I was wrong. It was about pictures, family day pictures. The last
sorry about that.
no, go ahead.
No, it was just another stereotype prior to the actual service starting. It was the black male that was in front of the white father. It reminded me of the barbershop episode from like season 2, where in the episode, Alfred is trying to get a haircut, but his actual barber is taking around the actual city of Atlanta, and then at one point he talks about having this so-called cell phone service. And then he gives him like a card. Same thing happened here, where he talked about he was selling televisions and talking about hit my line. So that was another thing I wrote down too, where it's just not being serious at any moment. So I mean,
I think the actor, whoever the little kid, Sebastian, whoever he's playing, I don't think he's a very good actor. And I understand he's a kid, but nah, I didn't care for his acting. And I think that the parents are raising a psychopath. He was emotionless and very dry.
Thank you, Helen. Thank you, because that reminds me of the complete and utter disconnect that the Yurugu, racist man, racist woman, seem to have with their offspring. There's like nothing there. Like, they can't get them to eat. They can't comfort them. They can't. It's just like they need that mammy figure, that they need Sylvia. They need someone to fill that giving, caring role, because it seems like they cannot do it for some reason. They can't even tell the truth to the child. It took like a whole day almost to tell the child that your nanny she died, she's dead now. And then when they tried to break it down to her, the first thing that he could compare the situation to was a dead dog. Why? Because in the racist mind, non-white people are akin to animals, are probably less than animals, I would say. So yeah, the other disconnect, and I raising a psychopath, I suspect you're correct. And look how they're treating them. They're not giving the offspring any sort of nurturing, any sort of correct guidance, truth. That's right. If you're gonna nurture something, you need to give it truth, I suspect. And they can't even tell the child the truth. So it's famous. This will be a famous quote one day, but white people do not care about children.
Do they is there any scene in this where they like touch the kid?
Oh yes, you remember where
or like hug him or anything like that?
There's a part where she tries, and then he's like, Sylvia, can you rub my back? And then she's like, Sylvia rubs my back. And then he's like, no, in a circle. So she can't even rub the child's back,
Wow.
correctly. That's just the disconnect, that, or
They talk at each other.
go ahead, Miss Action.
They talk at each other. The snapping, Miles snapping at Bronwyn when he's on the phone with, I guess, Khadijah, when he finds out.
Oh yeah.
Just the snap, snap, snap. They literally talk at each other. They talk at Sebastian. So his emotional disconnect, that's where it is. They don't talk to each other. They talk at each other.
Yeah, and
I noticed that the white mom, her name is Brownwyn.
Brownwyn. Yep.
Brownwyn.
Yeah. Oh, and I guess they're back in because I don't even know where these episodes are taking place, but it looks like they're back in
New York, I think it is.
Okay, because I don't know even caught this Easter egg right here, but Paperboy coming home for a tour. Get your tickets. But yeah, a little Easter egg for the hardcore Atlanta fans. Racist, the racist child. Oh yeah, and yeah, they're probably gonna have to talk to him about how he told the truth in this moment. When they're leaving, he's like, "Hey," the black male is like, "Hey, little man, are we scaring you?" And of course, the Warners lied and said, we just gotta go. But the racist child, suspected racist child, is the only one that said
Say
truth.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I also wrote that down too. Like the preacher wasn't trying to settle anybody else down, except he went straight to the white people. Was like, "Are y'all okay?" Like, again, like, I wrote down. I said, preacher again caters to the white people uh, in the episode. So
Yeah.
That was Devin that catered to the white people. Devin,
yeah.
the guy who tried to sell his services to the white couple.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's like, you were scaring the white people, but then again, all of them stopped. Like all of them realized, hey, we gotta appease the white people, But yeah, this is just racist writing 101.
Oh, okay. I found where this was actually filmed at. This was actually filmed in London.
Okay, so yeah, they may still be across the pond. Yeah, and then what the black belt said.
Oh yeah, they're definitely from New York because Chet Hanks' character said he's from Tribeca, which is like one of the most expensive areas in New York.
Oh, okay.
That too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he was telling the truth when he said that.
Yes.
To the black male, he says, "We're just sad. This is what we do. We're sad." Something like that. I'm like, there's some truth hidden in that, that pitiful explanation for like why they're behaving in the manner that they're behaving. But sad. I remember this. There's an etymology for sad. Let me see if I can get it up. But yeah, just replace sad with confused. Replace sad with confused, and because non-white people are confused, we do behave in a very, very bizarre manners. Most of them incorrect. But this scene right here is still anti-black racist propaganda. If we're going to be serious, it's definitely at funerals for sure.
Yeah, I found it. This says by the mid 14th century, as this is the term sad, as expression or marked by sorrow or melancholy. The meaning, very bad, wicked, is from 1690 sometimes, and typically used slang sense of inferior or pathetic is from 1899. So sad sack.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I see anything else, but yeah, that was the third paragraph from the actual time.
In the very beginning, when Bash and his mom, when they entered right before they entered the school, um, it was a non-white little girl entering the school. Yeah, around this point, a non-white little girl entered the school and another child. I don't know what the other child would be classified, but they entered the school alone. Now, right after them, a white child enters, but a teacher clearly looks like a teacher, not a parent. Looks like a teacher is holding the white child's hand, and I think that's code that we're gonna stick together. Also, in the same image, you see a black male sitting down. He looked
408
like a senior.
0526 408 408.
All right, awesome.
That's when it
So
happened.
it looked like well, not look like. There's a black male sitting down, look like he's doing security for the school.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like a senior. He should be retired. I mean, look how messed up the system is. That this male, he's continuing to work, obviously because he has to, maybe to pay for medication, maybe to pay his bills or what have you, or whatever. So this is, I mean, he's such in poor health that he has to sit down while doing this job. I don't know if y'all noticed him.
No, I saw him. I wasn't gonna comment on him, but
Far right.
yeah. I see him, but yeah, dang, excellent analysis on this character, what he
Yeah,
symbolizes.
he looks like he's at retirement age, yet he's still working. And this is what the system has done to us. And even Sylvia's age, she was 57, I think it is. I wrote it down. I think it's 57 or whatever. And she was still, no, was she 57?
1957. That's
Yeah,
what it was.
yeah. So, and
She
was
would be
also,
around like 60, 63 or so.
and she's at retirement age, and yet she was still working. She was 65. She's actually 65. So she's at retirement age and she's still working. Just like this black male in the picture. I mean, not right now, but you know, the guard at the school. That's what the system does.
Yeah, and also just to piggyback on the whole affectionate to the child part, 453. That's when she hugs him right before they, right before he actually tells her to walk him to his classroom, just like um, the nanny did.
And of course, the nanny walked him to class because that was her job, right? Her job was to take care of him, and she took care of him all the way.
24/7. 24/7.
Yeah, 24/7. So that of course
And
the
she
mom,
went
right?
and she went above and beyond because you don't see any other kids walking with an adult. So she did probably things that she didn't even need to do because that's how trained she was to be a servant to these white children.
Oh, and something else, she was also a living. She was a living nanny. So she only went home on the weekend. Notice when she passed away, when she died, and the white wife was taking her things out of the closet. She was like, "Oh, I didn't realize how much stuff Sylvia had lying around." She said lying around. Mind you, she's neatly taking stuff out of a closet. And she said that Sylvia things were lying around. She balls it up and act like she's gonna fold it, but then tosses it like, right, yeah, right here, this whole scene right here. And that's exactly we're dispensable to them. We're nothing. That's how
And
that's
she
how
didn't even think about giving it to her Sylvia's kids.
It's in the very first scene. I just wanted to, my very first notes was the very first scene. The very first thing they show is a pile of trash on the sidewalk. This whole episode is about Black people are just trash. A bag lady. What, she had bags? What she say? What she say? She said what? The very first scene, right away, it's color monitors and it starts off as the Terminator with the bags of food. Look at that. Look at that. But they're white. Watch this. But they're white bags because the new nanny is going to be Mandarin, closer to white. This whole thing is making fun of Black people's pain from death. Because it reminded me of The Sixth Sense mixed with all these the precious little white boy. He lost his toy.
Good pickup.
Yeah, Mr. Yawu, that's why
Then,
you're here.
and just one more thing I had to say, man, you all are bringing up such good points. But again, back to Chet Hanks, we're looking at the generational wealth of white supremacy. He's back to the Terminator. What's the Terminator? An infiltrator unit. He's such an infiltrator unit. He lives in Tribeca, but he has a Trinidad accent. This is the real white boy summer. That's Chet Hanks. They show you what they're really doing. That's why the ritual works. If they never showed us, we would never believe it or practice or help them do it. I'll mute my line.
Great point.
Yeah, about the just making fun of just Black death. That is what this show is all about. Actually, I was listening to the writers, the victims of racism, like talk about their the show, and they were talking about the episode. Forgot what number it was, but it's the one where we see Tupac get killed by
second episode.
Yeah, they knew exactly, they coded him as Tupac, and that's how we decoded that as. But just to hear them nonchalantly joke about, oh yeah, that's Tupac. Yeah, it's just funny, it's just funny to produce images about killing a victim of racism who was already killed by the system of racism. It's just wow. They have trained us to be so insane. And Mr. Jabu, your analysis was excellent, because this is refined racists. One of their best jobs, one of the purpose of that unit, of the refined racist unit, because we are in a race war. Every single white person has to function as a individual unit to the race war. So the refined racists, part of that unit's duty, hey, infiltrate, go amongst the Black people, observe them, steal their stuff, profit off their ideas, and make sure they're not up to anything constructive. Wow. I really hope that makes sense, but it's yikes.
Term teachable moment was used a few times. I take that as code for refinement, aka another way of practicing racism, white supremacy. Something else I wrote, something that Bash said, can she come back and say bye and then go back to being dead? That's why I said they're racist, a psychopath, emotionless, careless, tacky. I want to know who wrote these lines. I mean, what I wrote. That was tacky. That was tacky. It's not that he wanted her back and oh, I'm gonna miss her and I want her to come back and stay. I want her to come back, say bye, and go back to being dead. Well, that's horrible.
Okay, so I'm trying to get the image of the Black male child shrieking, closing his eyes. Mr. Tevin, if you can help me, if you know what scene I'm talking about, but it's a black male child. He's screaming, and I want to decode that image really quickly.
It's right when they're fighting. Hold up. Yeah, hold up. Let me just run it back a little bit.
I had it.
Okay, all right. So here goes Princess. It's around like 26-minute mark.
I just saw it again.
Yeah, it's at 26.
All right, awesome. So yeah.
Yeah, here
it
is.
Yeah. So the Black male child, in the 1980s, the highest suicide rates was Black male child. The highest rates of incarceration, Black males, and the highest death rates were Black males. And I suspect this is why, because we're in a total insane system, and this is what it does to Black males. It drives us more insane faster than the average victim of racism, I suspect. you know, and this little boy is going absolutely mad in this environment, but no one's even paying attention. No one's gonna, tell this black male child about the system, racism, white supremacy. He's just gonna continue being victimized, continue going further and further insane. And our 2022, and I'm pretty sure those statistics are quite similar. But victims of racism should definitely do their own research. This is what comes to mind when I see this immature.
Did anyone know? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No one's talking.
Go ahead.
Okay, I've heard in previous decodings several times said that people suspect that someone might be reading the code who's doing some counter writing in this series. Did you all notice when the question was asked about what makes me feel better? She said, the two T's. But then there's a bunch of T's in this. And then the trash was used in the beginning. I think somebody's playing with the three T's.
Yeah, like I remember the actual scene where she was asking him about well, he was telling her about the actual song that he used to be listening to from the nanny. He was like, it's that TNT song. She didn't know what it was. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I just can't find the actual other one. Yeah.
Or like how if you're studying the code, you would say, well, you can only expect three things, and they all start with T. So it's like reversing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Terroristic.
this whole episode was tacky, trashy, and terroristic. This whole thing, from beginning to end.
Yes, ma'am.
There was a part where the parents were talking to Bash about death.
Yeah.
And he said, "Where did she go?" Talking about Sylvia. And the wife, she couldn't say that, oh, Sylvia went to heaven or a peaceful place or whatever. It was just like, I don't know. So
Yeah,
to
that's
me,
like
that
them
the
talking about
message,
dinosaurs.
The Yoruba don't think like that. Go ahead, Miss B,
the
please.
message to me, the message to me is that no matter what non-white people do, how giving, how caring, for their children, for white people children, etc., whatever, white people like, I don't know where you're going. Like, whatever. Oh well. You're dead, you're dead.
Hopefully, you went to serve some more white people. That's probably what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She said some things go instinct, like dinosaurs. Because and plus, but she also stopped the husband for bringing up the a dog reference. So like a dog died. He was like, nope, let's talk about dinosaurs.
Notice another thing, how white people, they talk to they talk at them like Miss Action said, but they also talk to them like they're adults. This child is what, 5? And you using words like extinct? Really? One time I was on a train and there was a white man and his baby. And the baby looked like under one, that gaga goo goo, talking baby talk real loud. And they're on a train and the baby's talking, talking baby babble. And the white man the father is talking to his child like the child is like 25. He's like, we're going to see mommy. We're getting off. Remember, we're going to our job. I understand that you're impatient right now. I mean, he was having a full-on conversation. He was not going Google Gaga. He was breaking it down where they're going, why they're going, who they're going to go see, blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, wow. And everybody in the train just stopped and looked. Everybody was looking like, this is amazing. I can't believe you're doing this. Like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
white
guess
people
to
talk to
also.
their kids like adults.
So sorry. Go ahead. Finish that.
No, that's it.
Okay. Just to add, when the husband left to go to that door for that package again. The Bash, he made the actual joke saying that maybe Sylvia went back to Trinidad and Tobago. So it wasn't taken as a joke, but that's how I took it. That was at the 9:41 mark.
Yeah, that's a double whammy right there, because you know the white people, oh, it's just another joke about that black person in a racist mind. But for us, oh, just a cute little white child. For us, more confused, it's a cute little white child, you know, missing their nanny. You know, for a while now, white people tragically, the images on the screen of this episode were probably very heartwarming. Some would call it, you know, feel goody. It makes them feel good, you know, seeing a white child connect to black people. But this is just refined racist propaganda meant to teach us and to remind us and keep us accustomed to the tacky, trashy, and terroristic interaction we must engage in with one another while on planet Earth. Unless we produce a system of justice and guaranteeing no one is allowed to be mistreated and those who need help receive constructive help. If we produce a system of justice, we won't have to have this tacky, trashy, and terroristic arrangement on planet Earth anymore. ProduceJustice.com, please, everyone.
I'm gonna need a little help, y'all. So the term metropolitan was used, and I knew she was talking about a white person when she said that. I don't understand how. I'm gonna give the benefit to Race Code War, the book, to help me to understand that she was saying white without saying white when she said metropolitan. Anybody else have any, like, what does that mean and how could that be
I
associated
thought
with race?
suburb. So
And you know what? That does have something to do with it too.
I thought that they were trying to say that they wanted instead of getting a non-white person, they wanted a white person who's been around non-white people. Because metropolitan usually means like you've traveled to a lot of places, or is that cosmopolitan? Metropolitan is like people in cities, right, who are able to like have a lot
large
of
cities.
and they're exposed to a lot of like quote unquote like cultures and food. So I suspect she was saying instead of getting a non-white person, we should get a white person who's just like knows a lot about non-white people, if that makes sense.
They showed it. Cosmopolitan. I'm sorry. What they say? What's the other one?
Metropolitan.
Metropolitan. I'm sorry. There's so many terms. Metropolitan is just like you said. The metropolitan would be again Chet Hanks in the funeral home. Somebody who's been around. Metropolitan is like when they talk about like the Mediterranean. So that just means white people who have been around black people enough to blend in or to do trade or commerce with. And then cosmo has to do with like how you don't live there, but you travel enough and you have so much power, you know, associated with, they usually try to say it with credit cards. They have the fashion magazine, Cosmopolitan, all that stuff like that. It's just like how you can walk around freely without fear of being attacked in some place that you conquer.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the white definition, but I'm just looking at the synonyms of this term cosmopolitan, international, worldwide, global, universal, and multiracial.
There you go, the power of words.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna.
I think you're right. Metropolitan, looking at the definition now, is saying that it's like if there's a quote unquote colony, the metropolitan is the parent state. For example, like the UK or the UK would be like the metropolitan of like Ghana because they used to own them. So they're saying that they want a white person who owns or controls non-white people.
All right. Yes. Yes, I was going to say it's just so funny. You have to laugh about it. I think it has to do with politan because what's red, brown, and white ice cream called? Neapolitan. It's still racist codes.
Clap it up. Clap it up. Oh, wow. I did not catch that either.
Good one right
Race
there.
Code War.
And a Wilson moment for the double win.
That too.
Yeah, and the other any more notes or
Yeah. So right here, this scene, the wife says that Sylvia was expensive. No, yeah. From the next scene, sounds expensive. Oh, okay. And she hints about white nanny, and then reminds me of the cows when there's a line that says black babies cost less. When they talk about the price of Sylvia, one says she's expensive, the other one says she's not that expensive, or she isn't as expensive, you know. I don't know if, yeah, Sylvia wasn't expensive. Yeah, it made me think about adopted babies, black babies. A white man told me once, a Jewish white man, there's a reason why I'm saying that. Um, he adopted, now he's already old. He looked like he was in his 70s or 80s. He had an 8-year old. He adopted a 8-year old. Well, she was 8 years old at the time, an 8-year old Chinese girl, and he was raising her to be Jewish. And she was constantly telling them, like, there's certain days of the week where they're not allowed to like use the elevator or electricity and stuff like that. So every once in a while he would slip and do something. She was always like, no, 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 daddy, you can't do that, you can't do this. And he told me that the reason why he got her because black babies cost less. He couldn't get a white one, so he got her. Because he couldn't bring a black baby into the Jewish religion, but this Chinese baby, so-called Chinese baby, that's what he's raising her to be. And I was like, wow. Wow. And Sylvia wasn't getting from their conversation, Sylvia wasn't getting what she was supposed to get. Like, I think the wife didn't want to pay at all. I think she was wishing. I think that the wife was like, damn, I wish this was chattel slavery time where I wouldn't have to pay her nothing. And the husband's like, well, we make something. You know, we make good money. We can give her something. But I think the wife was wishing for free.
Yeah, because the husband said that she wasn't cheap or expensive. So
isn't it interesting how? Oh, sorry. Were you gonna keep going, Tevin?
I go ahead.
Isn't it interesting how in the episodes that we've watched so far, it's always the white woman who understands, like they always make the white man seem very like aloof, or almost like he's just like he's trying but he just can't get it right or something. Like, you know, the reparations episode, it was like the white mother who was more aware of the system. That's why she was like, I'm from Peru, and was trying to get out of it. And like I just keep noticing there's a trend of like the white woman in the show being, I guess, what would you would consider to be more sinister in the way they like are racist.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like in like real life. You know, the like, you know, blame was always toward the white man, but nobody seems to be looking at this white woman as, you know, being a devilish type of creature. It's like, you know, it's just white man, white man, white man. But you got to watch out for that white woman. So, yeah. Definitely agree. Yeah.
To stay on this, what do you think? How do you think that non-white people looking at this episode, what do you think they're going to get from this? Their feelings about the wife, their feelings about the white husband. What do y'all think?
They're gonna think they're okay people.
I think they're gonna think that the husband is okay and that she's the racist, suspected racist. That's what I think. I think they're gonna look at him as like he was okay. Oh, he was willing to try the curry sauce, and even though he said it was spicy, and he wanted to take their son to the funeral where the mom
Good
didn't
point.
want to. So
Good point. Good
I think
point.
he'll be looked at as the good guy.
Yeah,
I
yeah. Because go ahead. Sorry.
don't know. Please go ahead.
Nah. Well, I mean, just going off the actual episode. I said the wife was so apprehensive of him going to this funeral to begin with. So and like the father was like, no, let's go and pay our respect, yada yada yada. So like that, she was real apprehensive. Even when he was like saying yes to the prayer, she was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" So again, I think I would definitely agree with Salt's point that I think the black people, well, I would say non-white people watching this episode, they do not like this white woman.
I unfortunately suspect that non-white people will come away from this episode with absolutely nothing but programming. We'll forget about it in 2 days, waiting for the next episode, but then we'll be programmed to be a nanny for the next 4 to 5 generations. When the killers of the woman are sitting in the funeral home, that's the biggest point of this. This is John Henry's. This is just insane. This is cold. They worked that one. Look how beautiful she was. She didn't have a dot of gray hair. I'm like, damn, why is she so young? Then it hit me. Oh, they worked her to death. So to see Chet Hanks as the first generation, I keep going back to that point because that's what sticks out in my mind. He's like, oh, she took care of me too. Both the killers are sitting in the funeral home, but we're unfortunately fighting each other because we're sad.
Utterly programmed away from focusing on the problem. Another excellent analysis from Mr. Yawu.
I think the dancing was tacky at the funeral. And I don't know if y'all noticed this. This is horrible. But there was a picture right there. The picture. It's a white woman in the middle, and there's 2 black people on the side. One of them is Sylvia, and they have their arms up. It looked like the white woman is auctioning them off or something like that. It I don't know. It looks creepy. You had it like a second ago.
Yeah, but I lost it. From the chat, I want to read stuff from the chat real quick from Still Learning. He says, words are very important. The language white people use to program their kids and how non-white people program their kids. Ebonics only has value as a tool of entertainment, not value in the workplace, halls of learning, or in contracts. And continues, black babies cost less. What does it mean to be black? And I'll answer you really quickly. It means to be totally dominated in all areas of people activity by people who classify themselves as white and also practice racism, white supremacy. It's a really pitiful existence. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. And continuing with Still Learning, he says, depends on their codification. The non-codified will see them as they have been trained to see them. The codified will see past the programming and see white people practicing racism, white supremacy out loud. Exactly. This is the power of the counter-racist lens, the Welsing lens, the Urugu lens, the Electrical Negro, Neither Food Jr. All these information allows us to see what's always been there since before we were born. This tacky arrangement of racism and white supremacy.
Yeah, the picture with the white woman, 2139.
2139, you said?
Yes, sir.
1 second away. Oh,
yeah, right there. Right there.
Yeah, that's really.
It reminds me of that picture with the the KKK, and there's two black slaves sitting down in front, and you see all these KKK behind them with the hoods up, and it's Christmas time, and I think one of them is holding both slaves' hands. That's what this reminds me of. I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about. It's a
Yeah,
real old picture.
I would love to get that image on the screen, but I have no clue. I have no clue.
Oh,
If someone can find it, I have no clue. But it sounds like it would be an iconic, notorious picture in the racist culture. Yikes.
I'm gonna try to find it before it's over. Sylvia had 3 kids, offspring, 2 daughters, 1 son. One of the daughters was very upset over the mother not being there for her and her siblings. She didn't not understanding that it's the system that created that situation with the mom not being able to be there for her. The reason Sylvia left Trini and Tobago for a better opportunity. Non-white people, especially attempted parents, but even if you don't have children, offspring, please be honest with your offspring. Please talk to them. Express to them. Tell them about when you're having bad days at work. What's going on? Tell them about what's going on. Because if you don't, then you're going to have a daughter like this at the funeral. She's confused. That's why she's frustrated. That's why she's upset. Because her mom wasn't there, and her attempted mom wasn't there, and she doesn't know why. She didn't understand why.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna decode a name really quick because I see this behavior tragically in real lives. Her name is Princess, but her victim parent did not treat her like a princess. So yeah, so she may be even extra confused, because when those memes, I know a number of victims of racism named King, Princess, and their victim parents did not teach him or not teaching them about race and white supremacy. So yeah, that only causes confusion. If we are bringing non-white children to planet Earth, it is our duty to tell them, hey mom, this planet I brought you on, it's a race war going on, and you were born right into it just like me. But it's not all doom and gloom. We could definitely solve this race problem.
Did I get this right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Sylvia was a single parent to 3 offspring, and she was a single parent to Bash. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I don't know if the counter mate was mentioned at all or anything.
I don't know. The guy Devin, he said he was her compare. I don't know what that is. The guy who was trying to get it. He said he was compare.
I had looked that up too. Basically, it just meant compared in French. I think that's what. But again, I don't know what he meant by saying that. So, but yeah, I did look at the actual term.
Something else I wrote down. What message does this episode send to white people? What message does this episode send to non-white people? It was touched on already a little bit, but I just wanted to put that out there in the form of a question so that non-white people could think about this.
Yeah, and the scene where the black male is like explaining to the white child, hey, this is how we behave when we're sad. That's also training this suspected racist, and how to think of non-white people. Think of them as just really silly people. And well, that's one of the messages sending to white people. Yeah, just keep teaching your offspring, your white offspring, our business. And this show written by a white person, I'm pretty sure the victims of racism who are also involved in the show, I'm pretty sure these coded messages are going right above their heads, and if not, even more pitiful for them allowing the images to be produced or whatever. Yeah. Still Learning says names like King, Princess, and Prince are wishful thinking, just like Black Gods, Black Power, Black Love, etc. Agreed. Folks want to share any further comments, or should we move into next program?
Pretty much.
Man,
Go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
All right, yeah. Just to add to what O5 was just saying, I saw a tweet like that yesterday, so I'm going to find that tweet. So I'll mute.
Racist man and racist woman, they got us spending thousands of dollars on caskets and burials so they could turn around and steal the money. I mean, steal the bodies, steal jewelry, our bones, etc. to experiment on. Please, non-white people, I don't know. As a suggestion, I don't think that we should pay for funerals. If you want to do something, get cremated. Just save a couple of bucks. When I was growing up, I heard a few non-white people, attempted family members, say that they wanted a funeral like what was in the movie Imitation of Life. So I never really paid no attention, but I kept hearing this movie over and over again. So I think about 2018, I finally had some time and I sat down and watched it, the black and white version. Whew. Oh, I was so disgusted. I don't like this movie. I don't care for it at all. And it's
What's
the
the movie
whole
again?
Imitation of Life.
Oh,
I heard a few attempted family members say they wanted a funeral like that. It was like a running theme. And I'm like, ugh. So I finally watched the movie in 2018. I didn't like it. And it was a casket on I want to say horse and buggy. Well, yeah, carriage. The casket's on a carriage and it's being driven down the street with a horse. And you know what? Aaliyah's funeral was done up like that. And once I saw the movie, I was like, oh, I know where the mother got that idea from. Yeah. And horrible idea.
anything with white doves at the end?
Did they have white doves? That's a good question. I can't remember if there was white doves. It might have been, but it was more that horse and that carriage thing that
Okay,
got me. But it might have been some white doves. Might have been.
that's a rap
Depends.
song too. Horse and carriage.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. It's by Cameron. He had a song called Horse and Carriage.
So I have a
Yeah.
question for y'all. The banging and the constantly the envelope being returned. Do you think that was Sylvia, or do you think that was Sylvia trying to send a message to the parents, or do you think it was possibly Sylvia's offspring who kept returning the envelope? What do you think?
Well, logically, it's probably one of the offspring, or they could have wanted it to be some like my first thought, and it's probably incorrect language, but spooky vibes. Ooh, scary. The ghost is coming. It's just I think they wanted to be some sort of mystique to what's happening with that, but.
Again, I want to say, instead of funerals, let's have business meetings. Instead of baby showers, let's have business meetings. Instead of birthdays, let's have business meetings. I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, I thought it was the offspring. Yeah, I did find that tweet about the whole kings and queens thing. So here's the tweet. I'm not gonna pick her name, but here it is. Why is there a stigma to addressing each other as kings and queens, but most don't have any problem using hoes and niggas? Why can't we just practice using strong, positive language? If some deem not worthy, why say anything at all? Without
That's the VGQ. I do like what Still Learning said in the chat. He said, how much more impactful would Dr. King's speech would have been if he had stated, "I have a plan." Dang, that's that's profound. Instead of having a dream, how about a plan? That's super constructive, I think. You know.
05, I sent you the image that I was talking about.
All right.
It's in the WhatsApp.
I got you. Roger that. We're about to head out, and we're about to still learning. If you are able to, we're about to do another decoding of a piece of entertainment. If you want to participate, hit my line. I'll send you the link. But yeah, I got the image, and it is very that's very horrible. Let me see if I can get.
That's the first thing that came to mind when I saw that. I said, "Oh, this is this." The more things change, the more things stay the same.
Let me see if I can get to it again. I'm getting to everything but what I want to see.
What are you looking for?
The white lady with the two non-white.
Oh, it said 2937. My fault. 2137. Sorry about that.
2137. All right, so this is the image, and we are gonna get this image on the screen here. This is grotesque. Yeah, but this reminds me of a comment I didn't get to say. The religion, white supremacy. This is what this show is. What this episode reminds me of. This is what the religion of white supremacy is all about: keeping non-white people behaving incorrectly and keeping white people remaining and behaving very serious. Very, hey, let's plan for our white children's not just survival, but for them to thrive and to remain in charge of these silly non-white people. But yeah, the religion of white supremacy, the only religion that actually matters, the only religion that does things of value, even if the things of value means our destruction. But yeah, this is gross. Go to Santa Claus. It's all connected to the religion of white supremacy. Yeah, and what has that religion trained us to do so well? Dance and not think. I think. But
act white.
Act white. Act very white. Any final comments?
Nope. Another episode that we hate.
yeah. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this probably gonna be my be the worst of the season for me. Worst of the season for me. Well, we'll see. We got 3 more left, so we'll see. I think 3 more or 2 more or 1 more. I don't know if they're doing 8 or 10 this season. All right, so we're gonna close out. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Share this information to just post it, just drop it places. Reddit groups, Facebook groups, tweet it. Just throw it places. Maybe victims will take notice and learn something. All right, we will be back in about 30 minutes. Thank you, Still Learning, for your participation. He says beer, bullets, and booty shaking. The 3 B's, white behavior 101.